Rise and shine, my fellow bacon bits. We are back with Ardor Day, and since it's going to be a smidge longer than usual, let's jump right into the video. This is my Pinnacle of Champions, as I've named the art piece. This is my team from Pokemon Yellow, which I beat on Tuesday. Since I am excited to have finally beat that game, I thought I would commemorate with a championship photo. So we have our team here, and you can see the sketch in the background. I did this sketch on Thursday at a 4th of July parade because I was bored. And I just kind of roughed in the poses and the general shapes. Some of them aren't quite accurate, but it is what it is. We've got our trainer here. This is Yellow, obviously named after Pokemon Yellow. And on his shoulder is Zip Zap, the Pikachu he started with. Next to him on the right side of the screen is Phytosaur, the Venusaur, and Firesaur, the Charizard. And Feather is in the sky there behind them all, the Pidgeot. On the left side of the screen you have Squirtly, the Blastoise, and Houdini, the Kadabra, since I had nobody to trade for an Alakazam with. Now, I know those are ridiculous names, and partly that's because I like ridiculous names. And partly it's also because there's no genders or personalities to even build off of a name. So I just had to kind of give it something that was generic, and especially because my plan is to transfer these to Pokemon Sun and Moon. And if I remember correctly, when you transfer from Pokemon Yellow, the Virtual Console, to Sun and Moon via Pokemon Bank, they'll get their hidden abilities and look at all that stuff that normal Pokemon have given to them. So I wanted something that hopefully would apply when they were transferred to a newer generation. They were a fun team. I had, since you can get all 3 starters in the game, I wanted to make sure those were all on my team. So I have the 3 starters plus Pikachu, and they did a pretty good job. They were probably some of my better Pokemon for the most part. Houdini, of course, was fairly powerful because Psychic type is a little bit broken in Generation 1, and they didn't fix that in the Virtual Consoles. So that's why he's on the team. And then Feather, just because I needed a flyer, and there's really not that many great birds, so I went with Pidgeot. Since Charizard can't learn Fly, if I remember correctly. And, oh man. Some of these, one of the problems with drawing on my phone, which is where I do all of these art pieces, is that I have to zoom in a lot, especially on a landscape piece like this. And that gives me some really wonky perspective, because I can lose focus on, where the Pokemon is supposed to be, or where the lines are supposed to go. And so you see me fight with that a little bit throughout the video. Like this right here, where I just made Pidgeot's body like 100% too small. So I threw in a new background sketch to help me rebuild its body to a more accurate size. It's probably still a little on the small side, but just call it one of the unique aspects of Feather himself, or herself. Whatever Feather becomes, I guess. And this piece was actually a lot of fun to draw. You see me rearrange pieces a few times because I tried to draw them more or less from memory, and then I would look up when I was actually refining the Pokemon what they actually looked like, and so I had to move stuff around, make them fit correctly. In the background here, I'm going to put the Indigo Plateau Pokemon League building. There's several different versions of it, and I like this one from the anime a little bit, so I decided to incorporate this sort of Pokemon Center Castle type deal. Give it the little path that you walk up, and then I apply the Gaussian blur to just smooth out the edges behind it, so it fades a little more into the background. Now I'll be dumping in all the colors. For our Pokemon trainer Yellow here, I decided to make him wearing yellow and gray, since 1, they fit the name, and 2, they fit Team Instinct, which is the team that I am in Pokemon Go. And I thought it worked really well for him. I didn't want to do the typical red because it's overdone, and I don't really care much for the style. And since the color, or since yellow doesn't have true color in it yet, it was easy to just make up my own. I had to move Charizard there because I didn't notice that he was kind of levitating when I first drew him, so I had to scoot him down so he was standing on the ground like everybody else. These colors are all eyeballed to try and get at least close to the colors, so they might not be completely accurate, but I think they're close enough that you could. They don't make it hard to tell who's who at all. And I think our Pidgeot came out surprisingly good. I generally don't like drawing birds. I don't like the feathers, I don't like the beak, I don't like wings in general, and so I think Feather actually came out surprisingly well. There's a color for Houdini going in. And lastly, I believe I tossed some shadows on the ground to kind of anchor everybody to the ground a little bit. And there is our art piece done. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I had a lot of fun with this, so thank you guys so much for watching. And subscribe if you want to become the newest member, and we'll see you next week.